Yes, people, welcome back to FPL Hive, where it's Game Week 28 team selection. And all you can see for my team is green arrows. So come and watch this and get your green arrow. So let's look at my defense for Game Week 28. And don't forget, people, I've had a lot of green arrows lately. So my defense at the moment is Nico O'Reilly starting in defense. People took him out, and even the guy do the channel with Bane said, Ty, I'm going to give you your plaudits because I stuck by him. And that's what I do. I don't follow the crowd, people. I follow Ty, the tactician. And that is what's happened for me in the last couple of weeks. Nico O'Reilly, 2 double-digit hauls. And that has seen me gain massive green arrows when people have owned maybe City defenders, but have conceded goals. So for me, in terms of Nico O'Reilly, he is a stay in this team. What I said was key. If you follow FPL Hive, you'll know I said once Pep Guardiola has a system that works and he's got a midfield that works, he won't change it. And Nico O'Reilly is naturally a midfielder. He provides legs, dynamism, athleticism, now getting on the end of things with his third man runs. Owning a defender is effectively a midfielder. There is a lot of ticks in those boxes. So Nico O'Reilly stays. I've got Gabriel starting. Of course, people triple captain him in the previous game weeks. It was a quiet game week for Gabriel, to be honest. Getting the assist was not really much. People wanted more returns than that, but he will start for me against Chelsea. Their win against Tottenham gave them a bit more confidence. I think they now want to kick on and try and cement that Premier League title. So he remains. At the moment, I've got Saliba starting with him in defense. Obviously, going back to back with the Arsenal defenders. I think that's just what I need to do at the moment because Arsenal at home, solid. Chelsea, hit and miss. And we know in the Carabao Cup game, it was a tight, close affair, but Chelsea still didn't manage to score in that game at the Emirates. I've got Alderete in as well. At the moment, playing Bournemouth away. I think that is someone that I might look at taking out. Yes, he's got a positive of potentially getting DEFCON, but I do believe that Bournemouth scoring that game. And I've got Petrovic starting in goal. So I went to him last because you've got Alderete playing against Bournemouth, but you've got Petrovic playing in goal against Sunderland. I would rather start Petrovic than start Alderete. I have got Dubravka in goal on the bench, but of course, as you see later in my video, I can't start Dubravka. So at the moment, I've got Petrovic, Nico O'Reilly, Gabriel, Alderete, and Saliba in defence. Into the midfield, and this is where things are going to get complicated, especially when I discuss my transfer plans. I've got Semenyo. He's just a simple own for me. I'm not going to get rid of him, and maybe until the blank game week in 31, he has to start. And Rodgers, he has gone a bit quiet lately. Like, Rodgers is one of them players I always say, when Villa do well, he's involved. Villa slack off, he's not so involved. Villa, last week, really struggled to beat Leeds, scoring a 90th minute equaliser through Tammy Abraham. Like I said, Villa didn't play great. Villa didn't perform. Morgan Rodgers didn't chip in. So when you look at it, Morgan Rodgers away at Wolves, I can't not start him. Am I expecting Villa to go there and win that game? Yes, but you just don't know because they're so unpredictable at the moment with their way they're playing. And also, you've got Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool breathing down their neck for Champions League. But Morgan Rodgers starts. I've got Declan Rice in. I don't expect an attacking return, but I expect DEFCON. Is it an easy 4-pointer? You could say so. Some people own Elliot Anderson for the same reason. So Declan Rice at the moment is in my team. I've then got Bruno Fernandes. At the moment, I've got the captaincy armband on him. But we'll talk about that shortly. But of course, Crystal Palace at home has to start. Into my attack. And don't forget, people, like this video, subscribe, and check out the TikTok as well. In my attack, I've got Erling Haaland and Thiago. So going back to my point, which obviously you've seen earlier, I said Dubravka's on my bench. They're playing Brentford at home, but I've got Igor Thiago. 1 goal in 6 games. We need more now. Is he set to go on a blistering run? If you haven't looked at Brentford's fixtures, the next 3, Burnley away, Bournemouth away, Wolves at home. Games you're potentially looking at targeting, Igor Thiago. If you have him, hold him. If you haven't, you could invest elsewhere. Dango, Kevin Shard in midfield. These are potential options you could look at if you're looking to make quick fixes to your team. Haaland, of course, he starts. Born in Leeds, will he score in Leeds? I think he does, but let's respect Leeds, people. If you don't know already, Leeds have only lost 2 in their last 14 games. One of them being the Arsenal game, the other one being the Newcastle game where they conceded in the last minute. Leeds are going under the radar. They are performing well. Are they going to upset the apple cart and stop Manchester City from challenging for that title? Let's find out. But I think the more interesting part for my team, people, is the transfer plans. I've got 2 free transfers. I've got green arrows in the last couple of weeks. What am I going to do? So to make it simple, I'm going to tell you the 4 players I have in mind and the players I'm looking at removing. So the players I'm potentially looking at getting rid of. Alderete goes to my bench, which now leaves me with a 3-4-3 because Sean Larson would naturally come in. However, that is not how it's going to remain. So I'm looking at potentially taking Saliba out and putting Van Dijk in. When you look at Liverpool's fixtures, of course, you've got the game at home to West Ham, you've got the game away to Wolves in midweek. You're looking at them 2 games already and thinking potential clean sheets. However, Somerville, Jared Bowen on the break, could West Ham score in a game they lose 3-1? Potentially. But Van Dijk is someone I'm looking at because obviously he's got attacking returns recently. He's on the up. He's the second most bought in player, I believe, this week. He is someone I'm definitely concentrating on. So Van Dijk for Saliba is a potential option. Now we go into the midfield. And this is where I'm going to let you guys in the chat get involved. I've got Semenyo, keep. Rodgers, keep. Fernandez, keep. Rice. Enzo Fernandez on my bench. One of them, I think, may have to go. Now, the players I'm looking at in midfield and bringing in are Harry Wilson for Fulham, RAYAN for Bournemouth, very under the radar, by the way. And then I'm looking at, who was it? Wilson, RAYAN, and Florian Wirtz. He was going to be one of my number 1 picks, but the injury that happened before the Forest game, I'm waiting for team news on that tomorrow. He looked like he was back in the lab, back in the sauna. He might be fit. Van Dijk and Wirtz, 2 Liverpool assets. Harry Wilson, Tottenham at home this week, but then they've got good fixtures after that as well. I'm playing game week 31. And then, of course, Bournemouth, good fixtures. Playing Sunderland, Granit Xhaka is back, so they might look a bit more robust. But then they've got Brentford at home and Burnley away. RAYAN is a great differential. I think on the fixtures, RAYAN is brilliant. He looks good. He's getting 85 to 90 minutes, and he is a threat. And he's contributed in 3 out of 4 games in the Premier League so far when he signed. You've got Harry Wilson, the talisman, on set pieces, seems to score goals from outside the box. He can always contribute. And then you've got Florian Wirtz. He is getting better and better and better. My dilemma is basically, whoever I put in, I'm either going to get it great in terms of being right, or I'm going to get it horribly wrong. And you're going to be frustrated. I wish I did this. I could have done this. But this is FPL, and these are the dilemmas I have at the moment, people. So it's either Van Dijk in for Saliba, and then one of RAYAN, Wilson, or Florian Wirtz in for potentially Enzo, and then I would go to a 3-5-2. I'm definitely going to be using one of my transfers. I could hold one of them back and keep Saliba in and just go to a 3-5-2 anyway, and then have 2 transfers for the week after. But I really don't know. And this is a dilemma I have, which then leads me on to my captaincy. In terms of captaincy at the moment, I've got it on Bruno Fernandes. And I'll discuss why I've got it on Bruno and why I've not got it on Haaland so far. So Haaland, like I said, is going to a Leeds game where Leeds are battling to survive and they're playing well at the moment. Lost 2 out of 14, been robust, and it's a fixture at Ellen Road, which is going to be tough under the lights. However, we know Haaland can score in any game. He could go there and score 2 in the first 35 minutes, and you're like, well, his job's done. Or I go to Bruno Fernandes, who are playing a team like Crystal Palace, who are going to be playing, obviously, European football on the Thursday night. But Crystal Palace's record after European nights has not been great. Can Man United capitalise on that? Coming off the back of a 1-0 win against Everton, Man United, I feel like, have gone a bit off the boil in terms of their attack. So there's 2 ways you can look at it. Are Man United set to score 3 or 4 goals and go on a spree because Crystal Palace are poor after playing in Europe? Or is it going to be a game where Crystal Palace frustrate? 5 at the back, Wharton, and in there in midfield, controlling the tempo, playing with Sarr and Jeremy Pino on the counter-attack. And all of a sudden, it's a 1-1, a 1-0. It's a tight game. My captaincy is yet to be decided, but I think Haaland or Bruno are the 2 that people are going to go with. And the transfers, the 4 players I've named, are probably high up on people's lists. I feel like this is a week where you can either really game rank or you're going to be having your head in your hands. This is my game week team for 28. Guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And if you want short format content as well, make sure you're checking out the TikTok, which is FPL Hive. And if you always want to gain rank, just watch my videos.